Did you know the sun and the moon were once roommates who nearly drowned the entire world? Stay tuned, because this ancient Nigerian legend reveals the terrifying mistake that forced them into the sky forever. Long before clocks measured our lives and before the horizon was out of reach, the sun and the moon were more than just lights in the sky. They were earthly companions living in a modest house on the edge of a vast, ancient Nigerian village. The sun was a radiant, boisterous king, while the moon was his calm, silver-haired queen, and together they ruled the daylight and the twilight from the comfort of their home. They had one very dear friend, the water, who lived in the oceans and rivers, always inviting them to visit his deep, blue kingdom. But the water was humble and never visited the sun and moon, fearing his massive family would be too much for their small dwelling to handle. The sun, being proud and welcoming, insisted that he would build a palace so large that even the water and all his king could fit inside without a drop being spilled. Construction began with massive mud walls and thatched roofs, expanding until the structure spanned miles of the Savanna, a feat of architecture meant to prove the sun's greatness. When the day finally came, the water arrived at the front door and asked if it was truly safe to enter, to which the sun and moon shouted with joy for him to come in. The water began to flow over the threshold, bringing with him the colorful fish, the rhythmic tides, and the towering waves of the deep sea. Slowly, the water rose to the knees of the sun and moon, then to their waists, as the water's family, the whales, the sharks, and the endless spirits of the rivers, poured into the halls. The moon began to worry as the water reached the ceiling, but the sun, blinded by his own hospitality, kept telling the water to keep coming. Eventually, there was no floor left to stand on and no air left to breathe within the walls of their great palace. To escape the rising flood that threatened to consume them, the sun and the moon had no choice but to leap onto the roof, but the water followed them even there. With nowhere else on earth to turn, they made one final, desperate jump, launching themselves high into the heavens to avoid being swallowed by their friend. Once they reached the safety of the stars, the sun turned to the moon and blamed her for not stopping him, while the moon fired back that his ego had cost them their home. This sparked the great celestial battle, a race through the clouds where the sun chases the moon in a fit of rage, trying to reclaim the dominance he lost on earth. Every time you see an eclipse, you are witnessing the moment the sun finally catches up to his old friend, only for the moon to slip away into the shadows once again. And that is why the sun still chases the moon across the sky to this very day. Their pride cost them their home, but it gave us the stars. If you enjoyed this trip into Nigerian mythology, hit that like button and comment moon if you want to see the story of the stars next. Don't forget to subscribe to join our shrine for more ancient legends. See you in the next story in Story Shrine.